Okay, Coach. A tough 4-3 loss in your home opener tonight. A lot of back and forth action between you and Southern Wesleyan. But what are your thoughts on tonight's game, and what did you see from your team?
So, the biggest statement that I made to the guys was I'm insanely proud of how they fought, but I'm insanely disappointed at the mistakes we made. We handed them 4 goals with simple mistakes. So it was a very frustrating game because there's so many good things and so many bad things, and so ultimately I think the message is we build on the positive, we learn from the mistakes. We're 3 games in, it's early, but this was one that is going to sting for a bit. It had all the makings of us overcoming some of those mistakes that we've been making, not just in this game, but the first 2 games, even into preseason matches. So ultimately, we've got some growth. We've got so many new guys, and we're still figuring things out. We've got some injuries. So we've got a lot of quality, and it just hasn't really solidified into a 90-minute match yet. So we're still hunting that. We're still working for it, but it's kind of a tale of 2 feelings right now. It's insanely proud, but also really frustrated. So.
Right. I mean, like you said, there were definitely some mistakes that were made, but there were definitely some really good highlights, both offensively with the goals that were made, and then even from your back defensive end as well, because it could have been easily, a much higher score without some good defensive plays and stops. What are some things that you can take away from today's game, the positives, and put them into your next home game next week?
Yeah, I think one positive was we rotated on some new players, and they did extremely well. So just realizing that we have that now on the bench, and we, whereas before we weren't quite sure, we switched some positions up, and thought Malachi did really, really well tonight. And he struggled to be wide, but he did really well in the middle. We switched our shape in the back, positionally actually, and that actually did really well for us too, and gave us some opportunities. So those are some positives. Obviously, us battling and us scoring goals is huge. It's huge. So those are positives as well. At this point, it just comes down to getting rid of these defensive errors and making the most of our chances, because we had so many that just didn't go in, and we got to make the most of those. So anyway, I think the positives, some guys that we didn't know we can count on, we can, and goals that we scored was great. So
perfect. Well, excited to see how y'all can regroup and recover in time for next Tuesday's home game.
Awesome.
Thank you.